Over to CorbettReport.com with your Sunday update for this 27th day of March 2011. And now for the real news. The crisis at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant in Japan's northeast became even more dire this weekend, with Japanese government spokesman Yukio Edano warning yesterday that Japan was, quote, still far from the end of the accident. Edano's warning comes as the Tokyo Electric Power Co. announced today that radioactivity in water discovered in the turbine housing unit of reactor number 2 is now 10 million times higher than normal.
High levels of radioactive substances are slowing restoration work at the Fukushima Daiichi plant. Extremely high levels of radioactive substances have been detected in puddles of water in the number 2 reactor's turbine building. The water contains 10 million times the usual level of radioactive substances found in water inside an operating nuclear reactor. On Thursday, while installing power cables, 3 workers in the basement of the number 3 reactor's turbine building were exposed to high radiation. The water they were standing in had 10,000 times the level of radioactive substances found in water inside the operating reactor. After the incident, Tokyo Electric Power Company determined that the water in the basement of the number 1 reactor building has similar high levels of radioactivity. On Sunday, the Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency reported that the level of radioactive substances detected in the water in the number 2 reactor's turbine building is 1,000 times that in the 2 other turbine buildings. The detected radioactive substances, including iodine 134 and 131, are usually generated during nuclear fission inside a reactor. TEPCO believes these substances leaked from the reactor, and the company is now trying to trace the path of the leak.
Now, the spread of the radioactive contamination has been discovered to be even worse than previously thought, with radiation levels over 30 kilometers away from the plant found to be 40% higher than the annual radiation limit set for the general public.
Radiation levels 40% higher than the yearly limit for the general public have been detected just over 30 kilometers from the Fukushima Daiichi power plant. The Science Ministry says a reading of 1.4 millisieverts was made on Wednesday at one spot in Namiya town, 30 kilometers northwest of the plant. The government has not told residents outside a 30-kilometer radius of the plant to evacuate or even to stay indoors. Someone staying outdoors for 24 hours at the location where the measurement was taken would be exposed to more than the annual limit of 1 millisievert. The limit is based on a recommendation by the International Commission on Radiological Protection.
This comes on the back of reports yesterday showing that radioactivity in seawater samples taken within a few hundred meters of the plant contains concentrations of radioactive iodine 131 over 1,200 times higher than the legal limit.
The Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency said on Saturday that they have detected levels of radiation at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant's water outlet that are considerably higher than previous measurements. Officials made the announcement at a news conference after having collected seawater 330 meters south of the water outlet for the 4 reactors.
Iodine 131 was detected at a level 1,250 times the national safety limit.
1 millisievert of radiation is the government-set standard for exposure over 1 year without health risks. Officials say that drinking only 500 millilitres of water at this level of radiation would equal that yearly standard. The agency says there is no immediate danger to nearby residents who have already evacuated. They also say the level of radiation in the seawater will decrease as it becomes diffused by ocean currents.
The Japanese government updated that figure earlier today to show that that number has again increased, with radioactivity levels now over 1,800 times higher than legal limits. Official assurances that these readings and reports do not pose a significant risk to the general public are wearing thin as more evidence emerges of obfuscation and cover-up by TEPCO about what is happening at the plant. Yesterday, TEPCO officials acknowledged that they had covered up the high radiation levels in the underground levels of the turbine building of one of the reactors, and that they had deliberately withheld that information from pertinent third parties. Last week, Hirose Takashi, a researcher at the Aomori Prefectural Industrial Research Institute and a man who has written extensively on nuclear power in Japan, went on Japanese TV to point out the lies that are being told about the supposed safety of this radiation. They are saying stupid things like, why? We are exposed to radiation all the time in our daily life. We get radiation from outer space. But that's 1 millisievert per year. A year has 365 days, a day has 24 hours. Multiply 365 by 24, you get 8,760. Multiply the 400 millisieverts by that, you get 3,500,000 times the normal dose. You call that safe? Many are now expressing concern that the Japanese government's moves to quietly raise legal radiation limits in a number of areas indicates a tacit acknowledgement that increased radiation exposure will continue to be a daily reality for residents of Japan for the foreseeable future. On March 17th, the government raised the radiation exposure limits for emergency workers at the Fukushima plant from 100 millisieverts to 250 millisieverts. On March 22nd, the government announced that they were raising the bar for access to decontamination from 6,000 counts per minute to 100,000 counts per minute. And now, the International Commission on Radiological Protection is recommending that the Japanese government raise allowable radiation exposure limits for the general public from 1 millisievert per year to 100 millisieverts per year, not because the fundamental laws of physics and human biology have changed, but to stop people from moving out of the affected areas. Meanwhile, in the American media, some are now attempting to make fun of the situation, actually saying that increased radiation levels are good for you.
But you are not down on radiation poisoning.
Well, it's not me. I'm citing a stunning number of physicists, and from the New York Times and the Times of London, there's a growing body of evidence that radiation in excess of what the government says are the minimum amounts you should be exposed to are actually good for you and reduce cases of cancer.
Infowars.com has contacted Ann Coulter's staff to offer to pay for a first-class flight to Tokyo and to pay her usual speaking fee to go to the site and drink the radioactive water there, but Coulter has so far refused to do so. As the unfolding nuclear crisis continues to develop, look for ongoing coverage and updates at CorbettReport.com. Now, please go to CorbettReport.com to download episode 179 of the Corbett Report podcast, What Caused the 3/11 Earthquake, where we examine alternative theories for the causes of the recent earthquake in Japan.